Hello and welcome everyone to another Saturday, and this means another look at Ultimate ADOM. We are going for a Wizard this time and see how far we can get. Now that monsters are using skills and abilities as well, this is getting a bit more difficult than before. A tentacle follower of Brenobin. Yeah, we go with a human because I like having all these skill points to play around with. This is going to get an overhaul very soon, where the races and the factions are going to be much more balanced. We want to regenerate more health, full pyromancy. And long blades are always good for that parry bonus eventually, if we survive long enough. Literacy will allow us to read some scrolls, which don't do anything yet, but which will increase our spell pool down the line by a lot. There we go. I kind of like this perspective slightly better than the standard one, and it kind of looks, whoa, okay, so we're not wearing any helmet yet. This trap hurt. As you can probably see, there's some additional adornments on the floor, on the walls, making the dungeon come more alive, and we're going to add more over the next coming of patches. They're so nicely lined up, going to fry them both with the same spell. It's a good thing we invested some into accuracy for sword play, otherwise this would have stayed a bit longer. So let's see, let's equip ourselves slightly better. Get rid of the ropes, the silly ropes and the stuff. Armor doesn't have anything negative yet, apart from the heavy armor reducing your dodge value. But at this point, there's still no harm in having a wizard running around in full plate. And this will change very soon as well. Let's see what's in those barrels. Nothing there. Well, we're fire magic. We are going to burn this barrel and regenerate some health points while we do so. Oh, didn't really take. Now that we're wearing a helmet, we're not afraid of some rocks dropping on our head. Oh, treasure. And a loot. Yeah, so a little bit more details here. We fixed the first level to not be as deadly anymore as it used to be. So you will encounter less monsters, and the ambushes are less powerful than before. You can still die, so you still have to watch out where you go and how many monsters you encounter and you want to deal with at the same time. Yeah, this is much prettier. But in general, the first level is going to be much less complex and smaller than before, so to give newcomers a sense of achievement when they walk through this, and to give you a nice boost of experience points and some much needed standard equipment that you may need for your character build. Now it's blocking our way. Let's smash it. The helmet is already proving its worth. Yeah, let's get out of this room. We're still a fragile wizard after all. Oh, that's a lot of them. Unfortunately, the oil didn't spill, otherwise they would have all burned. Well, we can still do magic. Oh, this is getting dangerous for us. So let's retreat. Yeah, can't hit me. Ha. And wait until we regenerate a bit of more spell power and... Oh, wow. There's an invisible kobold here. What's that? They're using... And we don't have enough spell points for a firebolt. And the invisible stealthy kobold, because it was aware I was there, and it hunted me down. If my perception had been better, I would have seen an outline, but this wasn't the case. All right. We're not having much luck with our self-created wizards. Let's go for one of the classics. She's a great start for anyone trying to play around with magic. Ooh, lots of dangerous mushrooms. So let's have a look. We dabble a bit of hydromancy and pyromancy with a couple of spells learned. And by the way, did you know that you can now write your own character's diary? Hello world. No, that's not enough. Today, I killed my first monster. It was a mushroom. So you can keep track of what your character experiences along the way, and you no longer, we know this from ADOM people, have to rename your character after the first monster you killed. This will not be necessary anymore. You now have a handy feature in the game to track everything and note down everything you want. I'm not saying this won't be necessary or useful down the line, but at least you don't have to call yourself Rabid Dog anymore. We don't have any close combat skills, which sadly shows. Yeah, the black robe is stylish, but we'd rather go for more protection at this point. There. We're no longer looking quite as cool, but we're much sturdier now. Oh, that hurt. So they're using spells now, and skills. So we'd rather summon up some magical protection here. Still bleeding. And we made it. This didn't regenerate as much health as I was hoping it would, but at least it stopped the bleeding. And that's my eyes armor gone. Well, we'll save it up for when we need it again. So whips are cool, right? And we can't do much worse with them, with the whip, than we did with the staff. Or can we? Oh, I misclicked. Thankfully, nothing bad happens now anymore. When you misclick, you will not automatically run around. So we made sure to change that because it was a kind of death, a sort of death that is really humiliating. So let's start freezing the ground. Um, in this build, our rivers got slightly more dangerous. When you swim through strong currents, there is a very good chance that items will move out of your backpack and be flooded away towards the next deadly water drain. So, being able to freeze the ground when you come across some rivers is absolutely helpful. Or maybe you can jump really far, or you just avoid rivers entirely. You just want to be prepared. No, there's no bridge building yet in the game. We'll see when that happens. We're really not very good with our whip here. So maybe it is worse. Thanks for killing that rat. We still get experience points for that. So it's all good. Cold Touch is one of the cheapest spells you can use for Hydromancer. It's slightly more powerful than its fiery counterpart, and it doesn't cost much spell points. So if you want to go for a close combat mage, Hydromancy is the way to go. Of course, setting things on fire is always cool. So we have this interactive menu down here, which tracks which skills and abilities you have been using, so you don't have to go for the radial menu all the time if you use a spell very often. Briefly considering going for an axe instead, but, well, we're just really not very good with this melee stuff. But we are very good with setting things on fire. If you see the health bar down there, this is not a bug or an oversight. This is actually the door having been damaged from our area spell with a firebolt. Here's another reason to go for Hydromancy over Pyromancy if you want to leave these doors alone. Yeah, we're not going into this room. Oh, there's a lot of them. Well, it's burn time. And then it's armor time. So, let's see if kind of fearsome melee mage can handle this crowd. No, as well, this is not looking very good. They can't harm me while I'm under protection of my ice armor spell, but that doesn't have a long duration. So, being in the corner here, trying to fight my way out, and I got cornered and slaughtered. So don't get yourself cornered when your health or your spell points run out. It is not going to end well. Thank you very much for joining me in our doomed travels through the caverns of chaos, And I hope you're going to tune in next week again. Don't forget to subscribe, sign up for our closed alpha with a newsletter. You find all the links below. And see you next week. Bye.